Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, an important update for Social Security users in Victoria and what it means for the community. A major step forward for the University of Houston, Victoria, what's next for the campus, and details on the deadly shooting at Florida State University.
And rain is back in our forecast, but when is it going to appear? Well, I have that coming up in our full forecast.
Plus, a suspicious discovery behind a store leads to a dramatic dog rescue. Hear how quick action made all the difference. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. I'm Don Brubaker. Sean Curry is on assignment. A report of a possible weapon on campus led to a quick response from school resource officers this morning at Victoria West. Just after 9 o'clock, staff alerted the officers assigned to the campus. After a preliminary investigation, deputies determined there was no weapon and no threats made to students or staff. A 15-year-old male student was arrested and charged with making a false report to trigger an emergency response. He was taken to the juvenile detention center. No injuries have been reported. At least one person is dead after a shooting on the campus of Florida State University. Tallahassee police say one person was in custody in connection to the shooting. At least 6 people are receiving treatment at Tallahassee Memorial Health Care. Students say that while the shooting has shaken them, they are not surprised something like this could happen at their school.
I just think that this happens way too much in America. We need to do something about it. It just can't keep happening. Like, no one should just think that they're going to school on a normal day and the next thing you know, their life's in danger because there are not enough regulations in place. We need more scrutiny on this in the media, and we need more policies in place to regulate this because it's just unacceptable at this point.
The university says all classes and business operations at FSU will be canceled through tomorrow. A Victoria man is sentenced to 20 years in state prison. 28-year-old Tyler Boswell was arrested in 2020 on 2 felony counts involving the sexual abuse of a young child. He was later indicted on both charges by a Victoria County grand jury. Wednesday, Boswell pleaded guilty in Victoria County to the charge of indecency with a child by sexual contact. Could there really be a zebra sanctuary in Bloomington? That's the question that led 25 News Now anchor Shauna Curry down an unexpected path. What started as a simple story about a nonprofit quickly unraveled into an investigation filled with twists, touching on money, influence, and hidden secrets. Don't miss our special report tonight at 10 as we uncover what's really going on with Keep Bloomington Beautiful. And this brings us to our viewer poll today. The question is, do you support Bloomington incorporating to gain more local control? Choices are yes, no, or not sure. 72% of our voters say yes right now, incorporating, getting more local control for Bloomington. More information, and we want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have the latest results at 6. The Social Security office in Victoria is staying open. A spokesperson for the U.S. House of Representatives District 27, Michael Cloud, says the local office for the Social Security Administration will remain open. The Department of Oversight and Government Efficiency previously listed the Victoria office as a location that could potentially be closed. The Victoria listing has been removed from the site. The Texas Senate unanimously passed Senator Lois Kolkhorst's Senate Bill 2361, authorizing the transfer of the University of Houston Victoria campus to the Texas A&M University system. The bill will transfer the powers, responsibilities, and oversight of the university to the Texas A&M University system, and the campus will be renamed Texas A&M University Victoria. The bill now moves to the Texas House, where State Representative A.J. Louderback is sponsoring the companion bill. Once signed by Governor Greg Abbott, the effective date of the transfer will be September 1st. In a statement, Senator Kolkhorst said, quote, "This is an opportunity not only for the Crossroads region, but also for Texas." And the senator added, quote, "Texas A&M is a global leader in agriculture, engineering, and STEM fields, making it the perfect choice for workforce development," unquote. The Texas Workforce Commission awarded Victoria College 2 grants that support training opportunities and increase skill levels at local businesses. VC is seeking local business partners to apply for the Skills for Small Business grant, which totals $31,500. Victoria College was also awarded a grant of over $138,000. That's a Skills Development Fund grant to provide customized training to about 100 employees at Seadrift Coke. All right, let's go to Jacob Lozano in tonight for Mac Pettis with a first look at the forecast. And Jacob, I'm seeing a bit more clouds out there.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to get more clouds. We're starting to get towards the end of that high pressure system moving eastward, but we're sitting at 81 degrees right now. Mostly cloudy skies, but that wind has started to really pick up. We're at 23 miles per hour, and that's actually going to continue to pick up here as we go into tomorrow. 83 was our high, but we're down about 1.5 inches of rain for this month, which we desperately need. And well, that's honestly, it's on the way as we have that low pressure system moving here, and that's going to give us our rain chances. But when is it going to appear? I'll have that in our full forecast coming up. Don?
Jacob, thank you. Texas law school students on Wednesday warned state senators that a measure that would require universities to report students accused of supporting terrorist activities to federal authorities could turn their schools into immigration enforcement agencies. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. A 15-year-old girl who ran away from her California home has been found nearly a year later in Texas with a 28-year-old man. Court records show Tariq Jammer met the girl through social media in 2023. He told police he thought she was 19, but she was actually still a minor. Jammer is accused of picking the girl up at a Houston airport last May after she ran away from home to be with him. The pair was found last week squatting at a home in Harris County. Jammer was arrested for sexual performance of a child and was issued a $50,000 bond. A dog is recovering after he was left for dead inside a Central Texas dumpster. The dog, now named Benji, was in a trash bag and injured. A warning, some video coming up, some people may find these images disturbing.
At around 8:30 this morning, the store manager of Drug Emporium, Scott Halverson, says one of his employees noticed something suspicious happening out back.
One of the ladies in the back room opened the door and she saw a gentleman that was throwing a bag in the trash. The bag wasn't really full, and so she thought it was kind of odd, and so after he drove off, she came and looked inside.
That's when she discovered there was a dog inside, rushing to get help.
We came out here and got a ladder and got the dog out and saw it was still alive and still had bright eyes, and so it had a wound on its side. We're afraid it got shot.
Halverson says animal control then came out, getting the dog to a vet as soon as they could. Dr. Jamie Britton with the Bee Creek Veterinary says that the vet was able to confirm it wasn't a gunshot wound.
It looked more like wounds from a dog fight of some sort. And so they took x-rays, make sure there wasn't any broken bones. There are no broken bones. He's got about 5 pretty good sized puncture wounds.
From there, the Mama Nutmeg Foundation Rescue helped get him to the Bee Creek Veterinary, where Dr. Britton is now taking good care of him.
We were retreating some of the wounds for him, and so we opted to go ahead and resedate him. He's quite painful, but you know, it could have been so much worse.
But thanks to the staff of Drug Emporium and everyone else who helped, this little guy is expected to be okay.
I think he's going to make a full recovery. We just got to get, keep pain management on board, make sure no infection occurs, and otherwise he looks pretty good. He's a pretty young guy, so he's got a great chance.
The Mama Nutmeg Foundation is collecting donations to help in the pup's recovery. A new stage production is coming to Victoria. Toxic, written, directed, and produced by Lorraine Duhart, explores themes of redemption, family, and faith. Presented by Star Entertainment, you can watch Toxic this Saturday, April 19th at 7 p.m. at the Victoria Fine Arts Center. Tickets range from $20 to $25. We have more details on our website, crossroadstoday.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. The Menendez brothers are back in court today for a closely watched resentencing hearing. See what's at stake and what could happen. Also, inflammatory bowel disease is a lifelong condition with no cure, but new therapies are offering hope for symptom relief. What you need to know about the warning signs and treatments.
Zebra Sanctuary in Bloomington, a nonprofit promising beautification. But where's the money really going?
What does that be? What is zebras got to be beneficial for?
Our 7-month investigation uncovers a tangled web of nonprofits, LLCs, and real estate deals, leading to allegations of bribery, document falsification, and intimidation. A town at a crossroads, a fight for transparency. Don't miss Money, Power, and Incorporation. A 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
A new twist in the case of the Menendez brothers. Chances for a resentencing hearing set to happen today. Los Angeles District Attorney filed a motion late last night to delay today's hearing, a request which could upend the brothers' fight for their freedom.
All eyes on a Los Angeles courthouse today for a highly anticipated resentencing hearing for the Menendez brothers. Eric and Lyle are serving life sentences without the possibility of parole for the 1989 murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez. But their decades-long fight for freedom facing another hurdle today as LA's district attorney filing a motion late last night, Nathan Hochman, requesting that before today's hearing they wanted to see a judge see a multi-hour assessment conducted by psychologists of Eric and Lyle's risks of committing violence if they were granted freedom. That risk assessment was ordered by California's governor as another possible path to the brothers' parole. Before walking into court, both sides making their case to the public.
We want all facts to come out at this hearing, good, bad, or indifferent, facts or facts.
The DA has turned this case on its head. Instead of protecting the victims, they savage the victims. Instead of seeking quick justice, they try to delay the inevitable.
The hearing set to take 2 days, ending with the judge deciding whether the brothers deserve freedom. ABC News has learned that 10 Menendez family members are prepared to take the stand, in addition to a prison expert and a former inmate.
They are filled with remorse over what they did, and through that, they have become pretty remarkable people.
The prosecution says they do not intend to call up any witnesses. DA Hochman has said he thinks the brothers are serial liars and does not think they're rehabilitated. Besides resentencing, Eric and Lyle have 2 other possible paths to freedom. One is a request for clemency to the governor. The other is a petition filed in 2023 for the review of new evidence not presented at the trial. Zorain Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
This just in from the AP in Los Angeles. Eric and Lyle Menendez's bid for shorter sentences and a shot of freedom has again been delayed due to disputes among prosecutors and their lawyers. Taking fast walks can do wonders for your ticker. A study published this week in the Heart Journal says that. Researchers say people who stroll at a brisk pace have at least a 35% lower risk of suffering heart rhythm abnormalities when compared to slow walkers. The findings are based on more than 500,000 adults during a 4-year study. Roughly 60 million people have atrial fibrillation. A worldwide study done in 2024 shows that. Health officials say that condition can lead to a greater chance of suffering strokes and heart attacks. Up to 3 million Americans are estimated to have inflammatory bowel disease. It's a group of lifelong illnesses affecting the intestines. And CDC data shows these diseases are becoming more common in the U.S. While there's currently no cure, treatments can bring significant relief, but you have to be diagnosed first. In today's Health Minute, we have the warning signs of inflammatory bowel disease that everyone should know.
It's a disease that sparks the body's immune system to attack healthy cells in the intestines. While the cause of inflammatory bowel disease isn't fully known, it's believed to be the result of both genetic and environmental factors.
As of today, it's still what we would call an incurable disease.
Gastroenterologist Dr. Bill Fabian with Mayo Clinic says warning signs include diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramping, pain while eating, unintentional weight loss, low-grade fevers, fatigue, and joint pain.
Loose stools more than 3 times a day. And if you have diarrhea for longer than probably 2 weeks, you probably should go talk to your doctor.
While inflammatory bowel disease is a group of lifelong diseases, the main types are Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, which affects only the colon and rectum.
Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis are slightly different in that Crohn's disease can affect anywhere from the mouth all the way down to the anus.
Diet doesn't cause the condition itself, but some foods like those that are high in fat or ultra-processed can trigger symptoms. Fabian says there are also a number of therapies, including emerging ones, that can bring symptom relief.
We've never had as many options for a newly diagnosed patient with inflammatory bowel disease now as we ever have.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Compared to adults without IBD, the CDC says adults with inflammatory bowel disease are more likely to have smoked, sleep less than 7 hours a day, do less than the recommended amount of weekly physical activity, or experience serious psychological distress. The organization says IBD patients are also more likely to have other chronic conditions. Crossroads today is inviting you to join in and celebrate Earth Day by showing off your doodles. Show us what Earth Day means to you. We'll share your Earth Day doodles on our social media and feature one doodle per day on Sunrise. Submissions are open now through April 25th. Just come to crossroadstoday.com.
Well, conditions are a bit windy right now, but when is that wind going to start to die down? Plus, when is the rain coming? We'll have that in our full forecast after the break. Well, good afternoon, Crossroads. The cloud deck has started to roll in here, as well as those winds. We're sitting at about 23-mile-per-hour winds out of the south and sitting at 81 degrees right now. We got up to about 83 as our high, but we're looking at this strong gust of wind blowing out of the south. That's actually going to be persistent for the next couple of days, but there's our relief right there. That low pressure is going to be moving right along the eastern part of North Texas, and that's going to bring us a little weak frontal system that's going to increase our rain chances here in the area. Now, we do have wind advisories down around Refugio, but 23-mile-per-hour winds is pretty dominant over the Crossroads region. And, well, just for a little bit of advice, how much wind is too much wind? Well, about 3 miles per hour, that'll get the leaves blowing, and 28 mile per hour, that'll get the trash cans blowing around. So hold on, let me just show you. Right now, Thursday, 5 p.m., 24-mile-per-hour winds, and we're going to talk about some gusts as well in the middle of this. Thursday at 9 p.m., we're going to see those winds begin to die down slightly, and by tomorrow morning, those winds are going to be picking back up at 20 miles per hour, and this is where it's going to get interesting. 25 mile per hour, 26 mile per hour sustained winds. Could see up to 40 mile per hour gusts. That will definitely get the trash cans going based off of that equation where the weight of the trash can is just weak enough. Now, Saturday morning, we're going to see that frontal system start to make its way into South Texas. We'll start to get an easterly flow, but those winds are still going to be picking up out of the southeast as we go on later through the day at about 20 miles per hour until we get to Sunday, when we start to see that shift coming up here, and boom, there's the frontal boundary layer right there by 10 a.m. pushing into the Crossroads region, and that'll weaken our wind here coming into the beginning of next weekend, or next week. 6 a.m. Friday, we're going to be seeing 72 degrees, and we'll be getting up into the 80s, maybe even the 90s here along the western portion of the Crossroads here at about 4 p.m. Friday. Now, Saturday morning is going to be a bit on the warm, muggy side, 72 degrees, 73 there in Victoria, and we'll be getting up into the 80s and possibly some 90s as well along the western portions, 82 there in Edna, 4 p.m. Now, if we go into Sunday, Easter Sunday morning, we're going to be seeing some cooler temperatures up north as that front starts to make its way, 72, a little bit on the warm, muggy side as well. And those temperatures are actually going to be a bit up in the 80s, mid to upper 80s here, maybe even some 90s as well for your Easter Sunday. But the conditions are going to be a bit on the drier side. Now, muggy conditions are going to be for the next couple of days, but we are going to see that frontal begin to move, and we'll start to see a little dip here going into next week, into the beginning of the next week. Now, the rain chances is what we're really talking about here. Saturday, we're going to start to see some isolated showers begin to pop up as that frontal system begins to make its way through here. And now Sunday morning, light showers possible going into the entire day of Sunday based off the GFS model. And that's actually going to stall out right here along the Texas coastline and begin to push on back. So Monday, we'll get some rain chances. Tuesday may look like it's done, but it's actually just going to re-enhance as we see that backflow begin to insist here. So rain chances are going to be the big conversation going into next week. Now, for your daily planner here in Port Lavaca, windy conditions there, 83 degrees is what we're going to see, as well as Cuero. We're going to see very windy conditions, so make sure you don't have any loose furniture flying around. Make sure it's all tied down. 87 degrees for our highs, as well as Victoria, 85, winds sustained at 25 miles per hour by 3 p.m. Now, for the next 7 days, well, the next 2 days, we're going to see windy conditions, scattered showers actually for the next week. So better enjoy these drier conditions, because we're going to start to see some showers begin to pop up, which we desperately need. Now, don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. Now, Don, back to you.
Thank you, Jacob. And coming up on 25 News Now at 5, house hunters will need to pinch pennies. We'll explain after the break. On Wall Street, stocks tumbled on Thursday, following comments from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He warned that President Trump's significantly larger tariffs were unprecedented and could trigger higher inflation and slower growth. The Dow fell nearly 700 points. The S&P 500 fell more than 100 points, and the Nasdaq fell more than 500 points. Oil is up $1.94 to $64.41 per barrel. If you're planning to buy a Ford, you may want to do it sooner rather than later. The automaker says the Trump administration's tariffs are expected to result in higher car prices. President Trump's 25% tariffs on imported vehicles went into effect 2 weeks ago. Ford officials say if the tariffs remain in place, their vehicles may become more expensive by June, adding they'll be even more costly if the White House decides to also place tariffs on individual car parts. Analysts say the tariffs will not only affect car prices, they'll also cause a drop in car inventory. House hunters will need to pinch pennies. The average rate for a standard 30-year fixed mortgage was 6.83% this week. That's up a little more than 0.2 of a point, and it marks the largest single week rate hike in roughly a year. Analysts say the Trump administration's tariffs and trade war with China resulted in a recent sell-off in U.S. bonds. Despite the sharp increase, the average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage rate is still below what it was at this time last year. Good news for sea turtles. New research shows endangered populations are bouncing back in many parts of the world. That's next after this.
Coming up, the deadly mass shooting on a college campus, what police have just revealed about the alleged gunman, the Southwest jet making an emergency landing, and the school bus rollover on the highway, nearly a dozen hurt. Next.
A new study suggests endangered sea turtles are showing signs of recovery in most of the places where they're found around the world. The survey was released Thursday. It examined 48 populations of sea turtles, with researchers measuring the effects of threats to their habitats. The study shows threats are decreasing in general, but there are some exceptions. Atlantic Ocean sea turtle populations appear to be recovering better than those in the Pacific, and some sea turtle species are not doing as well as others. I've always thought turtles could survive anything. I guess not, because they have that armor, obviously, but
Yeah.
I guess that in some areas they just can't thrive as well.
I guess so. I don't know if maybe it's also, the warming temperatures in the ocean could also have an effect on it.
Well, that's certainly going to be in the mix. That's affecting a lot of animals, whether they're in the sea or not.
Yeah, definitely.
And, sea turtles are around the Gulf Coast, too.
Yeah, that's true. I enjoy going down to Corpus and seeing them around the jetties and stuff like that, eating the jellyfish. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
all of that.
Oh, yeah. Now, if people want to go down to the jetties or down to the coast this weekend or just anywhere on Easter weekend, now you're still saying there could be some rain halfway.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing some showers actually for the next 7 days, the possibility of these scattered isolated showers. We have a front moving in here Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's very weak. It's not going to do much for our temperatures, but it is going to bring our rain chances up, and it's actually going to stall along the coastline, and it's going to bring us back some more showers as it starts to retreat backwards. But windy conditions are going to be the conversation for the next 2 days, so better secure those trash cans and lawn chairs because it's going to be a bit windy out there.
That windy? Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Jacob, thank you, and thanks for being with us. Our next newscast is in 30 minutes after World News Tonight with David Muir.